Bushcraft Travels. Hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. Got my venti pistachio cream cold brew, not a sponsor, from Starbucks. Pretty good. One of my favorite cold brews to get. Love it. Venti pistachio cream cold brew. And then I got my favorite breakfast item. It's a bacon sausage. It's a bacon sausage egg wrap from Starbucks. Look at the size of it. The only thing is it's really, really hot. So, but look at the size of that sucker. Here, I'll put it next to the venti so you can see how big the wrap is. So yeah, it's a pretty big breakfast wrap. Gotta be careful because it's sometimes it can be really piping hot. Most times it's very, very hot, so you gotta be careful when you take your first bite. I take a couple bites and then go like this though. Let the steam come out of there. Anyways, I hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. I'm enjoying my bacon sausage egg wrap from Starbucks. And I got my favorite cold brew, venti pistachio cream cold brew. Thought I'd come on here live and holler at you guys and gals. Oh my god, really good. It's really good. So yeah, scrambled egg, bacon, and sausage. It's really good. Pretty much my favorite breakfast item from Starbucks. It's really, really good. Oh, a little bit of diced potato in there too. Scrambled eggs, a little bit of diced potatoes, and just really good. Scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, and my favorite breakfast item from Starbucks. Oh my gosh, so good. Anyways, I hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. Just want to come on here live. "19 people are in the house watching the live, so that's pretty cool. And the time here in Midwest Indiana is 8:58. So it's 8:58 in the morning here in Midwest Indiana. Oh, this is a breakfast wrap from Starbucks. Someone asked what was in here. Bacon sausage egg wrap with scrambled eggs. There almost tastes like there's a hint of cheese in there, but I'm not for sure. But it has diced potatoes, bacon, sausage, and scrambled eggs. Oh, thanks for the subscribe. I appreciate that. But oh my god, it's so good. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with cold brew coffee, but this venti pistachio cream cold brew from Starbucks is pretty awesome. And this, like I said, this is my favorite breakfast item from Starbucks. I love it. That's one of the comments was interesting. I don't think the live, it's weird. I know I can see it. I don't know if anyone can see it who's watching live. Probably. It's a beautiful. I'm watching someone pull in a car. Looks like a charger. Anyways, chilling here on a Saturday, enjoying my Starbucks breakfast. Enjoying that Starbucks breakfast. Having a good time. Hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. Thanks for the person that commented down below that they subscribed to the channel. Appreciate that. Oh my God. So good. Mm, mm. So currently it's Midwest Indiana this morning here on a Saturday. We have blue skies, but a few little clouds in the sky here in Midwest Indiana. And I really wanted to come on here and go live. I'm just looking at your guys' comments down below. Wow. So some of my audience, I have audience in Japan. I have an audience that follows me in Australia. I have an audience that follows me here in the USA. I have an audience that follows me in the Philippines. So it's 10:01 a.m. here in Midwest Indiana, but over in the Philippines, I think they're 12 hours ahead. So it's 12:01 p.m. in the Philippines. And that's one of the places I've not traveled to. I've never been to the Philippines. I'm friends with some YouTubers who've been to Thailand, and they seem to have a good time there. My places are the first place I went outside the United States was Cancun, Mexico. So I traveled to Cancun, Mexico, and I've traveled since then. I've traveled to Mexico lots of different times. So I've been to Cancun, Mexico, Playa de Carmen, Mexico, Sayulita, Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and then Peru. I've been to Cusco in Peru. I've been to San Bartolo lots of times, which is not too far from Lima. I think it's about a 45-minute drive from Lima, Peru, South America. San Bartolo Beach is about 45 minutes from the main city of Lima. Mm, 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 mm. So good. Mm. I also been to the Dominican Republic, but I stayed at an all-inclusive hotel. Now in Mexico, when I was in Sayulita, I rented an Airbnb. That was pretty nice. I've also done all-inclusive hotels at Mexico as well. Had a good time, especially when I was in Playa de Carmen and also Cancun. Both times I stayed in all-inclusive hotels. And then, oh man, on one of the trips I did to Peru, I got to stay a whole month in Peru and got to go to a place called Paracas in Peru. It was a very awesome place. Went back to the same place and there was a little bit less wildlife. So that was kind of a trip. So almost 30 some years ago when I went to Peru, there was, at least in the Paracas area, there were a lot more animals, a lot more wildlife. So it's interesting when you keep going back to a place or vacationing to a place, how much a place can change. My hope is one of these days I'm really hoping to, of course, this may be a while off, but my dream is when I do retire is to spend maybe only half of the year in Indiana and then half of the year in Lima, Peru, South America. So, but yeah, traveling is one of the things I love to do, and it's one of the contents I love to put up on my channel. There's some of the things you'll see on my channel is I've showed off some knives, some both full tang knives and folder knives, and so those are fun things. I've showed off gear items. I've showed off tents. Um, I have yet to buy a one-person tent. I think the thing that's stopping me from buying a one-person tent is usually you can only fit yourself in and not your gear. So, and I know there's plenty of YouTubers that go and buy one-person tents. I guess I'm not a fan because I don't think I can put my gear in there as well as myself. So the smallest tents I usually buy are two-person tents. And then I've bought three-person tents, four-person tents, five-person tents, six-person tents. I think I got a yurt one time that could fit about 8 people. It was a white yurt tent. I think it was Ozark was the style. And that 8-person tent, I think I would only sleep 5 people in there comfortably. So it's so funny when you go to buy a tent, they put the max. So if it's a 2-person tent, it's probably comfortable for 1 person. If it's a 3-person tent, it's probably comfortable for 2 people. And then, if you go 4, so yeah, 4-person tent, you probably will be comfortable with 2 or 3 people. 5-person tent, you'll probably be comfortable with, the max would be 4 people, right? But even in a 5-person tent, I would just do 3 people so guys can all include your gear in there. So it's better to have, yeah. So if you have a party of 2, get a 3 or 4-person tent. If you have a party of 4, maybe get a 6 or 7-person tent. If you have a party of 5, I would probably get a 10-person tent. So whatever your party, double up the tent. So like I said, if it's a 3-person tent, make sure you buy a 6-person tent. If it's 5 people, get a 10, 11, or 12-person tent. Because, especially if you're going on outing with a group, you want to be able, just in case the weather turns, you want to make sure all your folks and guests can get in the tent and also all their gear with them. So, but yeah, I just want to give you guys heads up. If you go to buy tents, they put the absolute max number. Like if if you had 8 people in your party, I would get a 16-person tent. So all 8 of you could get in the tent and also all your gear. That's just my opinion. But yeah, you'll not be comfortable if you buy. Let's say there's 8 people in your party, and you buy 8-person tent. Yeah, you'll be able to stack each other there in an 8-person tent, but you probably will not be able to pull any of your gear in with you. So yeah, for 8-person people, I would get the minimum 11 or 12 if there's 8 of you. But yeah, I almost double the number. Like I said, if I had 4 people with me, I would probably get an 8-person tent just so they can bring their gear in with them. But a lot of people, some people still go camping. When I go camping, I try to. There's a channel I follow here on YouTube. There's a few channels I follow. One is the Outdoor Gear Review run by Luke. and the other one is the Nut and Fancy Project, and Corporal's Corner is another one. Now, Corporal's Corner gets out in the rain, and he camps in the rain, the snow, the sleet. When I get out there, it's almost perfect weather, because I'm mainly getting out there to enjoy my favorite food, my favorite drink, and yeah, I'm not playing survival person when I get out there and camp. So, but I do watch a lot of Corporal's Corner because he really is camping in the rain and the snow. And I mainly watch that just to get ideas in case I did get stuck in the rain or the snow. But there's some people that are just now getting into camping. And then there's some people that are just now getting into bushcraft. And so that's pretty cool. This one lady, I can't remember the name of her channel right now offhand, but she started off buying not so expensive gear. And then she found out she really loved bushcrafting and started buying buying expensive gear. But what's really cool, and I want to say REI has, I remember buying a tent from REI, and sometimes you can go to these brick and mortar places where they do really cool sales. And I got a really cool REI tent, and I believe that one was a 2-person tent, and it had doors on both the front and back side. That was pretty nice. But anyways, usually when I go camping, or the last time I'll talk about the last 2 times I went camping. Both were in Brown County State Park, and both had electric hookups. And so when I go camping, I love having an electric hookup in my campsite area so I can charge charge my cameras and charge anything else I may want to listen to. But I usually set up my tent, and then I set up my hammock, and then by then I've already poured bags of ice into my Coleman cooler. I got all my favorite drinks and food, and I pour my bags of ice in there. And just around sunset, I usually start my campfire, and it was so funny. I think it was my 2-person tent from REI that I was in, and I already had my camp set up, had my hammock set up, my chair, my tent, and this family rolls in the middle of the night, and they're literally pitching their tent while it's pitch black, so they got their flashlights, and I'm sitting there relaxing by my campfire while they just came into the campsite late. So it got a lot quieter once they finished setting up their campsite. And now the other time I went camping, it was still in Brown County State Park, but I set up my teepee tent, and that was, I believe that was Ozark Trail teepee tent that you can sleep about 6 or 7 people. It was a really nice teepee tent. It was a mixture of white and black. As a motorcycle just went by. Anyways, it was a mixture of white and black tent. Really nice, had a gray floor, and that was a teepee tent from Ozark Trail. Really cool tent. Anyways, that was a really cool tent from Ozark Trail. Gray floor, and it was red and white. And they are now selling that same tent again, except the colors are more of a tan. It's not a red and white teepee tent. So yeah, it's more of a white teepee tent. So that was interesting. But like I said, I believe that slept about 6 or 7 people, that teepee tent. So it was a pretty nice tent. But yeah, camping's really, at least when I go camping, I enjoy my favorite drink. I break out, I got my chocolates. I usually bring Snickers bars. Snickers and Hershey bars. I think one of the times I went camping, I brought some grilled chicken so I could make some grilled chicken wraps for both breakfast and dinner. Another time I was, instead of bringing the grilled chicken wraps, um, I think I stopped by Subway, picked up a variety of different sandwiches, had them cut them up in different sections, and then I threw that in my cooler so I could eat my Subway sandwiches in the both the morning and the evening. So yeah, so it's easier. It's either chicken wraps or a variety of Subway sandwiches. Or now I've never done this. I could also do the Jimmy John's, and maybe I'll do that next time I go camping. Get a variety of different Jimmy John sandwiches, and then go camping with that. So yeah, and like I said, grab your favorite chips, your favorite drink. Um, like I said, I have a hammock system, so I love having a hammock set up so I can lay in my hammock and chill while watching the campfire, or I can go sit in my camp chair and watch the campfire. And I think the last time I went camping, I watched the camp. I bought 2 sets of logs of birch wood. Birch wood's my favorite wood to burn in the campfire. And I'll usually, like I said, I'll start it at sunset, and those 2 stacks of logs will last me all the way up till like 2:30 in the morning. And then, so yeah, it burns around till 2:30 in the morning. And then I'll hike to the modern showers and bathrooms, and I'll take a quick shower about like 2:30 something in the morning, and yeah, get all nice and clean before I jump into my sleeping bag. And yeah, and but what's funny is I thought I was going to sleep, because I don't have to leave the campsite until 2 in the afternoon. So here I think I'm going to have this big time sleep, right? Which is really funny. So I thought I was going to sleep in because I knew I didn't have to leave my campsite till 2 in the afternoon. About 6 in the morning, man, I hear it sounded like thousands of birds above my head. So I unzip my tent. I look up, man. I just hear all these birds making noise at 6 in the morning. And so I closed my tent, zipped it back up, tried to lay back down, tried to fall back to sleep. And the birds just, I was surrounded by, my campsite was surrounded by trees. So a lot of pine trees. There was a little bit of birch, but mostly a lot of pine trees. And so that surprised me when I went camping that time, because there was a bunch of birds that woke me up like 6 in the morning. And like I said, I tried to go back to sleep. But sometimes once I'm awake, once I'm up, I'm up. And so I laid there for a little bit with my eyes closed, not falling asleep. And I think I laid there for a little bit, maybe looked at my phone. And then after that, I finally got up. And since I didn't have to leave till 2 in the afternoon, I went and at least I packed away my campsite a little bit, so that way when it got closer to 2 in the afternoon, I would leave. So I think I went on a day hike. So I went for a day hike for a little bit, came back from my day hike, jumped in my SUV because everything was all loaded up, um, and then made sure the campfire was totally out. And uh, yeah, once I was pretty convinced that everything was all out on that, then I jumped in my SUV and left. So I actually left before 2 in the afternoon. And one of my favorite things to go do is go pick up maybe a cheeseburger or something, cheeseburger meal. So I think I stopped by McDonald's and got a quarter pounder with cheese that day. And yeah, just ate that while driving back home from Brown County State Park. And then I think I'm about, depending on the traffic, it can be like 45 minutes to get to Brown County State Park from my house if the traffic's heavy. And so it seems like it doesn't take me very long to get there because I'm on the south of Indianapolis. I'm south of downtown. So, but yeah. So I'm pretty lucky that I have a state park that's not too far from where I live, where I can go camping. It's pretty nice. But yeah, like I said, I watch Corporal's Corner because he does camp in the rain and the snow. and and then I do have a bag packed of a bunch of gear, but I need to go re-look in that backpack. And what's so funny, I do have I went through this one program called the CERT program. It's for like in case of emergencies for civilians. And it's really cool because it talks about the command structure and and it's got all, of course, since it's a CERT, it's a backpack that says CERT on it, and it's got a bunch of emergency gear in it. But I really need to look at my other personal bag and really rifle through that. Um, and that bag I picked up at TJ Maxx. I was really surprised to find this really cool green backpack with a bunch of Molly on it. TJ Maxx was the last place I would ever think I would find that kind of green backpack. So that was really cool and had a lot of Molly attachments on it. And so that was really cool. Anyways, I need to rifle through that and be really specific about my gear that I put in there. I do have a life straw, but I do have another. It works like a life straw, but it's got it almost looks like a water bottle, but it has a filter that's like a filter like a life straw. But the cool thing about it, it's already in a container. Where the life straw, you have to either put it in a container or you can just use the life straw directly. So I need to put a life straw in there. I have a variety of different ways to make fire. Um, so yeah, I need to put a fire kit in there. I need to put, I think what's his name? He calls it the 10 C's. And normally what's in a 10 C's kit is cordage, a way to make fire, shelter building materials. So yeah, I need to go through my personal bag and re-look at all that equipment to see what I got in there. So what I do have in my personal bag right now, but I want to reorganize it. I do have a kettle and I do have a small solo stove thing that I can set my kettle on to boil water. Because if a person doesn't have a life straw, or if for some reason they lost their life straw, they'd have to have a container. So I do have a kettle I can set on top of my small solo stove. Literally could fit in your hand, this small solo stove. And I could just set my kettle on top of there and heat up my water. So yeah, they talk about during survival, boiling your water so you can have clean water to drink. So, and yeah, it's so funny. I want to say, anyways, we had a power outage a few days ago, and my neighborhood hardly has any power outages, right? And we were watching. I think it was a Thursday. It might have been last Thursday, and we were watching a Fever game, and all of a sudden the lights went off, and the lights went out, the TV went off, and it was pitch black. And then we looked out the window, and the whole neighborhood was pitch black. The whole neighborhood had lost power. And I think we got a message on our phones that said the power would come back on around 3 something in the morning, right? The power didn't come back on until like 6:35 or something in the morning. So so that's an incident, you know. So it was neat to go through that because then you realize at any given moment stuff could just, but it was we had really high winds and thunderstorms which doesn't always knock out the power in my neighborhood, but it did that past Thursday. And so it was cool to go through that because it let me know an emergency can happen anytime, so when you least expect it. And we definitely weren't we knew there were high winds and thunderstorms, but so that's wild. And then I think we ended up getting weather again. Yep, we ended up getting some weather again. And this time, we didn't lose power. It was still nasty weather. But I actually slept in the basement. I set the basement up really nice so I could go because I didn't want to watch the weather till 2 in the morning because I had to be at work. So I set up my weather radio, had my weather radio set up. I had my phone set up for alerts. And then I went to bed. I think I went to bed around 11 something. And like I said, I just didn't want to stay up and watch the weather till 2 in the morning. And then luckily my area got lucky and didn't get hit, but some areas in Indiana did get hit, which is pretty wild. So I think there was a couple tornadoes that had touched down in the very southern part of the state of Indiana. So, but that's kind of the deal when you live in Indiana. We can have severe weather like that. There are places in the world, I want to say New Zealand, the only thing they get, but it's pretty serious, and they don't get them very often, I think, is mudslides, is what they get. And that's in New Zealand. But here in Midwest Indiana, it's severe thunderstorms and sometimes tornadoes. But yeah. Anyways, experiencing that blackout in my whole neighborhood made me realize things can change on a dime. So that's kind of wild. But yeah, on the channel, you'll find my travels from Mexico. There's a whole playlist from my Mexico playlist. So if there's different places you thought about visiting in Mexico, you can check those out. So there's a Mexico playlist here on my channel. There's also a Peruvian playlist here on my channel. Now, if you're interested in solo stoves, there's a whole playlist dedicated to different solo stoves I've purchased over the years. So that's pretty fun. My current solo stoves I have the small solo stove, which I've not done a video on. The one that fits in your hand, I've yet to do a video on that. That's a really small solo stove you can hold in your hand. The solo stove videos that have been made is the solo stove campfire. You can find a video on that here on my channel. You also can find the solo stove bonfire. I've made lots of videos with the solo stove bonfire. I've even made a few live streams of me using the solo stove. I made some live videos of me with my solo stove bonfire, which is pretty big. It's really fits inside my huge fireplace in my backyard. My solo stove bonfire. So, and this live stream is not sponsored by Solo Stove. I just really love their products. I've never, I dump the ashes out in my fire pit whenever I'm done with my solo stove. Of course, I wait till it cools down. And then both my solo stove bonfire and my solo stove campfire comes with really cool bags you can carry, which is cool. And I love that you can pick up debris off the ground and, just regular sticks and stuff and start a fire in both the campfire and the solo stove bonfire. I do have my eye on the solo stove Yukon because it's bigger than the solo stove bonfire. The solo stove bonfire is plenty big enough, but for some reason I want to get an even bigger one. So yeah, I've yet to purchase the solo stove Yukon, but it looks really cool. And then I think they've made a few more products, like the solo stove campfire is probably can carry it like this, the solo stove campfire, but now they're making some ones that are kind of like that. So that's kind of cool. I imagine you can set that anywhere and create a little fire ambiance there. So yeah, if you want to check out all the different places Mexico I've been to, just click on the Mexico playlist. And yeah, thank you guys for commenting on both my. I've done full tang knife reviews. I've done folder knife reviews. Um, I've done camping reviews. Um, so yeah, thanks for commenting on my live streams. Thanks for commenting on my videos. Thank you to my subscribers who've been with me for a really long time. And thanks to all those who've become new subscribers. Someone just subscribed to the channel while I was on my live stream here. Thank you to those who stayed with me here on the live stream. And thank you to those who will end up rewatching the live stream. So I hope you guys and gals are all doing well. Um, thanks for hanging out with me this morning here on the live stream. And for those of you who end up rewatching this, I appreciate you as well. And yeah, I hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. And I'll either see you in the next live stream or I'll see you in the next video. I'll talk to you later. Peace. Cheers. Later, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys and gals. Talk to you later.